But before starting anything, I want to talk about encryption, and when it comes to security, what does it bring to the table? So let's suppose you're working with your team and you want to send a message to one of your teammate Daisy. So you give the message to John and the message was, "Good morning, the meeting is at 2 p.m." That's your message. And John, being unfaithful, the person he is, he delivers the message as, "Hey Daisy, the message that you have received is, 'Good morning, the meeting is at 4 p.m.'" And this is what Daisy received. And because of which, she actually missed the meeting. So what did we learn here? When it comes to your data, never trust anyone. To avoid the information being manipulated again, what you did was you encrypted the message and you gave the encrypted message to John to deliver it to Daisy. And how did we do that? So the message was encrypted using a common key which I had given, or which you had already given to Daisy as well, using which she will be able to see the message by decrypting it using the key that we have shared. So that will be a common secure key. And the middleman here will not be able to understand anything. He'll not be able to read the message. So what did you understand here? No, I'm not asking you to tell me that you will be using WhatsApp to send the messages. I get that. Imagine this as a hypothetical scenario. I know it. So we got an understanding that to protect our data, we need to ensure it has a layer that encapsulates it, which masks the actual data inside it. That's what encryption is in simple terms. When we think of the definition, encryption is a process of encoding information. So you're changing the data in one form to another using a set of rules which makes up as encoding. So this process converts the original representation of the information, known as the plain text, into an alternative form known as the ciphertext. And this is what we will be sharing to Daisy so that she can use the common secure key to decrypt that and read the message that is stored inside the plain text. And the middleman that you have here will have no clue about what the information actually is. And that is how encryption actually works. So this is the encrypted message which is being sent to the user, and the message is being encrypted or decrypted using the key and thus being read as well. So in normal encryption, you take the plain text that you have here, you encrypt it using a rule or a method or a key, and you decrypt it using the same as well. So that when you read it, when you want to read it, you can do that as easily as you encoded it. But don't share your keys to anyone else. Otherwise, they'll also be able to read your messages that you intended to keep it secure. So let's change the tables again and let's see what happens when you make use of KMS. So on the high level, you have the data, that is your plain text data. And with the help of KMS, you can encrypt your data and store it on your AWS S3 or any application that you need, and decrypt it the same way using the methods available in KMS. But this is just the high level. There are a lot of things to be discussed in KMS. I'm just giving you an idea how simple this can be when you're sitting on the top of the mountain. And that's what we'll be discussing today as well. So in general, when we think of security, the hierarchy and the level of protection with respect to the ways we enforce the policies is like, so you have the level 0. So level 0 is no encryption, so plain data, anyone can read it and it's not secure enough. That's like the plain text data that we have. Next, when you add a few more features, you reach to level 1, server-side encryption with server having the keys. So when you want to decrypt the information, the server already has the key. So when you want to retrieve the data, you get it decrypted, and when you save them, you store the encrypted content. Then on to the next level, level 2, server-side encryption with client having the key. So here, the server which is having the protected data cannot encrypt or decrypt the data because the client has the key and not the server. And as the key is also with the client itself, so anyone who wants to use the data that is stored in the server has to have the key that is being used to encrypt the data, which makes it more secure. Then the highest level, I won't say this is the highest level, but according to this chart, let's suppose we are on the level 3 right now. So that is client-side encryption. Here, the client which is having the data encrypts the data, and the key is also with the client itself. So you can store and retrieve the encrypted data on the client itself. And when you want to use it, you can decrypt it using the same key that the client has. Other than that, there is no way to access the unprotected data, and sometimes it's protected from the people who have lesser privileges on the client as well. So I hope you got the idea of how the levels of security work.